Nation, I'm your host, Mitch McGee. This is our president, Robyn Remick, and this is the Black Bear Report. Well, Ms. Remick, today is President's Day. Can you talk to us about being the only woman president in the NAHL?
I could, Mitch. I'm just happy to have a day that belongs to me. So few do, and happy to have the day off, which I don't. It's nice to still be the only female president in the league, although I've left the door open for others, so come on in, ladies. It's pretty much the same as it was last year. A lot of work, a lot of camaraderie among the staff, and that includes the Piney Orchard staff, who've been tremendous and a great part of the success that we've had.
So the franchise has shown a lot of improvement from year one to year two, both with win-loss record, we've already surpassed last year's win total, and with college commits now having 8. Would you tell us what you think we've improved on the most?
As you know, Mitch, I leave a lot of what happens on the ice to our coaches. They certainly know a lot more about hockey than I do. You know a lot more about hockey than I do. What I'm impressed about and what I take great pride in is what we've done off the ice. So we increased year one to year two our season ticket holders threefold. We've increased the number of sponsors that we have, people locally who believe in the team and who invest in our team from, I think, about 4 to 14. So I'm very grateful for that. And we have players who are improved in terms of what they've done off the ice. So certainly the commitment piece of it, but just the intelligence of our players, I think, has improved in what their commitment is to learning and being in school and going on to the next level.
So could you give me a couple instances of where you've helped players with their academics or whatnot?
Sure. We have a deal with the University of Maryland and their tutors, but we've also had some tutors come from our season ticket holders. We've got 3 university students who are currently tutoring one of our players in Algebra 2. And we could have gone into the community to look for those tutors, and in fact I did. But it's a great tribute to our fan base that they raised their hands and wanted to help one of our players. And his average has gone, from what I understand, from an 82 in Algebra 2 to now a 97. So hats off to them.
Wow, that's awesome.
Right.
Great. So last year, it was obviously your first year in the role. Would you say this year it's become easier, or not easier, but have you adjusted to things now?
Well, I think we really pride ourselves on continuous improvement. So we don't really look to make things easier. We really look to challenge ourselves to do more. I think we've got more promotional nights this year on our calendar. We have looked for more in our staffing, so I think bringing you in as an intern has brought us more and a higher level of what we're able to do. Bringing Harrison in on our game day operations has brought more effectiveness in what we're able to do from a staffing perspective and fun on the ice, and being able to promote Colin, I think is just a tribute to the great social media that we're able to bring to the fans.
Absolutely. Speaking of Harrison, what would you say is one of the most difficult things you have to deal with in the office from day to day?
Well, where do I start? If it's not the earpieces of this all the time, it's just trying to keep up with him. He just moves at a speed that someone my age just can't get used to.
Yeah, we joke with Harrison, but we mean it out of love. So obviously, you've mentioned it's been an important part of your role with the Black Bears to help these players get educated and get out the door to college. What would you say is the most important goal that you have for these players every season?
It's the one continual message that I drive home to the players, to their parents, and to our billets, is that we want these young men to leave here better than they came. That's from a hockey perspective, from an educational perspective, and from a maturity perspective. So this is one thing that I ask them to focus on. We have different rules, I think, from many teams. We are very clear that underage drinking will not be tolerated. We talk to them about how they're supposed to behave. So our trainer, Amber, is bringing in a One Love course, which talks about respect for social partnerships, regardless of how you look romantically at a partner, that you should respect them. So that's something new that we're bringing into the organization this season before the end of the season. We want to be able to establish boundaries for how young men should behave once they leave us. So I know Clint talks about that as well. It's something that we really, really want players to leave knowing about. We don't want them to understand what the rules of the roads are from other players or from what they see on the internet. We think it's part of what we owe them. And so we want to make sure that we give them good learnings on the ice and off the ice. And from a front office perspective, we want to make sure that we give them those teachings.
Absolutely. And speaking of on and ice and off the ice, I know that you're heavily involved with the rink staff in the area.
Yes.
Could you tell us about your relationship with the rink staff?
We could not do what we do without them. Certainly the volunteers are a big part of that, but day in, day out, the staff here at Piney Orchard Ice Arena make us ultimately the success that we've become. They volunteer for our games. They work with us every single day to make sure that leading up to our games and leading up to our season, that we can succeed. So Gary Kremens, Ellen Short, Susan, Lucy, everybody who is here, and I would love to name more of them, work with us. And I don't know of any other team that gets the buy-in from the people who, it's not their day job, it's, they don't have to, but they want to, and we're grateful to them.
Absolutely. And other people that want to, our sponsors. You talked about our relationship with the sponsors and how that base has grown. Could you talk about how that's happened this year?
Absolutely. I mean, certainly people who own small businesses, we're very, very community driven. We're members of the Crofton Chamber of Commerce. They have been tremendous in helping us grow our awareness to business owners, but we are open to talking to anyone who wants to grow their ROI, because at the end of the day, just slapping your name up doesn't really grow your business very much. We want to help you grow with our team, with the Piney Orchard Ice Arena, and we want to show you how we can do that. And we want to prove it to you every single month of the year, not just during the season. So if you're interested in becoming a sponsor, we're here every day. So come on by, or email us. We've got info@marylandblackbears.com. You can tweet us. You can Insta us. We want to work with you, and we are a great price point to be able to invest in us and in your business.
Great. You've talked about how much we've improved and how much we've done from year 1 to 2. With year 2 coming up to a close, what are you focused on in year 3?
Well, I think before we get to year 3, we want to get more sponsors for things like our Guns and Hoses weekend, which is March 6th and 7th. We just met with Fidos for Freedom, which will be March 21st, so we're looking for sponsors for some of our games before we get into next season's push. We want to meet with our season ticket holders for this year to understand what they liked, what they didn't like. We want to get more intake from our fans to know what's important to them so that we can do the right things as we go into year 3. So we want to hear from you and know what you want. I know we've got fans like Andy Roberts who did a great job of really sending us information and feedback on what he wanted to see in year 2. We were able to do some things around that. But fan feedback and sponsor feedback is critical for us in what we do, so we do the right things by our fans and sponsors.
Well, it's a pleasure with you as always, Robyn. Once again, this is the best president, the best boss in the NAHL.
Thank you.
Thank
Get
you,
points
guys.
for that too.